apologies. I had the mic, the silly thing. I always forget about it. It was still back there charging up, so forgot to take it loose and clip it on. So my apologies. Anyway, I'll go through this again one more time real quick. Anybody here for the first time? This is Laser Distractions. It's normally some content I do for my channel members, but on the first Wednesday of every month, I open it up to everybody, and that's what we're doing here. And of course, the laser I'm using is an Omtech AF2435 80 watt, and I am a affiliate for Omtech. So if you are interested in getting yourself one of these awesome lasers, be sure and use that code, and you'll get 5% off of your total order from Omtech. So, all right, now we're back up to speed, I think here. I'm going to be doing another Easter project. This is much different than the other three I did the other week, but I thought I would do something different too. And normally I get the files and put the light burn, put them in light burn and do all that, have it ready to cut when I start doing this. But I thought I would go through the motions and show everybody how I go download it, what I do to make a SVG ready to bring into light burn. It doesn't take that long, but I thought I would show that process just in case somebody doesn't realize how easy it is to go from something online to cutting in just a matter of a few minutes. So let me get this, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Okay, this is where I'm gonna get this file from. You've heard me talk about Steve Good's website. He has scroll saw patterns. They make excellent projects for lasers. And Steve is a great guy. He has this website over here with all kinds of stuff on it, and he doesn't charge a thing for any of these downloads. However, you look right there in the middle, you see that donate button. If you come over here and get some of this stuff, be sure and hit up a donation for old Steve, because he's a great guy and has just a bunch of good stuff over here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Easter, and you can see that he's got 55 different patterns just for Easter. So I was looking at these earlier today, trying to pick one out, and I think I'm wanting to do this one right here. So I'm going to hit download this pattern, and it will open it up into this here. And then I've got, yeah, that's the one I want right there. So I'm going to hit that and get it downloaded. Okay. Next, I am going to come over here, and I'm going to open up good old, well, let me move it up here. Good old VCarve Pro. I like to use this to get these files ready, only because I'm really not very proficient at VCarve Pro, but I'm a little bit more proficient at that than I am Lightburn. I'm trying to wean myself off of doing stuff in Vectric and just do it all in Lightburn, but I'm not there yet. So so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start a new file here. Let's see, this is set up in inches, so I'll go ahead and set this for a 12 by 19, which is the blanks I use. Oh no, that does, yeah, that says inches. Okay. Now I will come and import vectors. And I will come up here to bunny eggs is the name of that file. And what it does is, since that was a PDF file, it loads in all the pages, but I'll just come in up here and turn off what I don't need. And right there is all that I need. So you can see this, Steve has done this with a scroll saw. He's using a 1/2 inch here, which I'm going to be cutting this all out of 1/4 inch. But he does give you the thicknesses there of what he's using. And also, since I've gotten so many of these from his website before, I've noticed that sometimes, and we'll see if it does it here, when I click on that, I don't know if you could even tell, but it highlighted that, but yet there's still another line under there. Sometimes these end up with double lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this whole thing, right click, go to selection, and hit select all duplicate vectors, and then hit delete. And now when I click on this, you can see it looks different. There's not another line under it. So that gets rid of all the doubles. It really doesn't hurt. I mean, you could run that on the laser. The only problem is when you've got duplicate vectors like that, it's going to cut it twice instead of once. So it's going to make everything take a lot longer. And, you know, you just don't need it to cut through twice. So let's see here. Okay, now one thing I think I'm going to do, if you look at, where was it, right here, I don't even know if that shows you very well. This is how it's going to look. He's got a base, and then he's got a lighter part for the Happy Easter, and then he's got the bunnies and the eggs, a darker color. So I'm wanting to do something like that. But I think one thing I might add to this is this Happy Easter right here will get glued to this other piece right here, and then all of that will get glued to the base. But I think what I'm going to do is add a little slot in the base, and then add a slot over here just to help center it up and maybe hold it a little better while the glue dries. So I'm going to try to add that real quick. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle here, and we will make that, let's see, the width needs to be the thickness of the material, and I'm going to say that it's 0.210. I think if I make it that, it'll go in there okay. And then I'll make the height of this 1 inch. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to make sure I get that centered. So I'm going to highlight that, hold down the shift key, and highlight this other part of the base here, and come over here and tell it that I want to align it to the center of that selection. So I'll put that right there. That'll put that right in the center. And now what I need to do is add a little tab to this piece right here. So I'm going to highlight this piece, right click, hit copy, paste, and then I will move this one over. Let's see if I can get in here where I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think There we go. I'll make sure it's overlapped so it'll work. Okay, now I also want to make this piece or that tab centered to this other part right here. So I don't know if it is. It may already be centered, but we'll see if it moves a little bit. Oh, I don't know where it went. Let me undo that. I don't know. Maybe that is centered. Okay. That looks like it might be. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. Get my trim tool. And there I've got my tab for that piece and a slot right there. And even though you might be thinking, well, Dave, you've got this tab the same width as what this is, I found that it will make for a real tight fit, but it will probably still fit in there just fine. If not, I can always sand just a little bit or file a little bit and get it to fit, but I think that's probably going to be fine. Okay, so that's it. I don't know how long that took, but now I'm ready to make this right here. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and save this just in case I screw something up and have to come back and start over. Let's see, Easter bunny eggs is what this one was called. Okay, we'll save that file just in case we need it. Now we'll highlight this one, come down here and hit export SVG. And yeah, we're in the right spot. And it's bunny eggs, so there we go. Now we will come, should be done with that. Now we'll bring that into Lightburn. We will hit import. Let's see, well, there it is, right there. And there is our bunny eggs right there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is change the origin to up here. And I like to draw the blank on here. So we'll hit that as a tool. And then we'll come over here and unlock this and make this 12 inches by 19, because that's what my blank is. Lock that back. And there we go. Now let's see. I'm going to bring this down here so it'll be a little closer to the camera. Okay. So everything should be good there, I think. Let's we'll switch to this camera here. And I'm going to we'll set the origin there and then frame it. Okay. Get the exhaust turned on here. I'm going to give that a second. Let me check. Checking comments here real quick. See if there's. Let's see. John says you hit center, hit left to right, and up and. Oh, okay. I think he's talking about when I was in vector. Okay, so it was doing for everything, I guess. They both work. I've just gotten the habit since a lot of places, you know, a lot of software these days will do SVG and not do DXF. So I've just kind of started getting in the habit of doing the SVG. As long as it's a vector, yep, it'll work fine. So, all right, I think we're good to go. Let me double check. Let me double check that focus real quick, just to be sure. Looking good there. And I think we're ready. Let's hit it and see what happens. I see JR's in the house. How you doing, JR? Welcome, Alan. I hope you're enjoying your new laser beam machine. It's probably why we haven't heard much from you recently. I've probably been busy playing with that and getting it set up. William says, I have found that some SVGs don't work in light burn. Okay, I don't know why that would be. Every one that I've got, you know, like I download it and then use VCAR Pro to create the SVG. I always have good luck with those working. And there's also been some times when I use an SVG that's, you know, straight offline somewhere. And I haven't really run across any. Let's see. KS says, what's the cut time on this one? Let's take a look. Good evening, Mike. Come back up here real quick and hit this. Looks like it's going to be 7 minutes and 28 seconds. I hope that camera is staying clear for y'all. It looks like it is here, but it always looks clear during the StreamYard thing. Alan says, lightning strike took out my computer's landline internet. Oh my gosh. Just now back up and running. What a, yeah. Just picked up my workstation with a new motherboard installed. Dadgummit. That sucks. Yeah, Jerry says usually pulls them off. Yeah, if I think about it, I don't always think about it, but a lot of times I'll come out here and just unplug everything from the wall. I know it can't get it if it's not plugged in. So okay, John says looks good on YouTube. Might look okay because it's not doing any of that image back and forth real fast. I think I'm going to end up getting a different camera than that little Faux Pro that I use there. Alan asked if JR is still chasing car thieves. Let's hope not. Oh, he's chasing insurance agents now. That's probably worse. Yeah. Alan says, looking for a way to isolate my computer gear. Out here in the garage, I have a, I don't even know what brand it is. It's a, yeah, I don't know what brand it is. I got so many things plugged into it, I can't see the label, but it's one of those heavy duty, power. It's not a power strip, but it's like a bunch of outlets. Even got a couple of USB 5-volt things, and so I have the computer, the two monitors. Uh, let's see, my speakers, and I guess pretty much everything to do with my computer plugged into that. And so if I know a lightning storm is coming, all I have to do is come out here and grab that one yellow cord and then plug it from the wall. And I know that I've got everything protected. Okay, so didn't get his BFDs. Air gap is the only sure thing. If you have high insert suppressor, it will usually ensure you if it fails, but lightning make your earth grounds are done properly. Yep. Yeah, unplugging them is definitely the best way. But if you're like me, you don't always remember, especially if the storms hit in the middle of the night sometime. All right. The official time on the machine says 7 minutes and 29 seconds, and it said 7:28 in the preview, so that's pretty close. Looks like everything cut through okay. All right, let's have a look and see how this is. Yeah, that fell right in there. So see if I can hold this. This is it's actually a little bit loose. I made it 210, and this must. Sometimes my pieces will measure 0.2. Sometimes as thin as 196, or sometimes if it's humid, which it has been the last few days, it's usually 0.21. That's why I made it that, but it easily fits in there. But that'll be able to line it up and get it glued in. But I'm going to do it kind of like that picture there, and I will stain this a dark color and then glue this all together, and you'll have a good contrasting color. And then I will shoot it with some clear, and we'll call it done. All right. Let's see if anybody's got any questions about anything. And the mosquitoes are starting to get bad already. Jerry says so much more accurate than the V-carve estimates. Yeah, I have found them to be very, very close. Sometimes, if depending on the size, usually if it's under 10 minutes, the light burn time versus the machine time is, usually the machine takes just a few seconds longer. And I mean very, very few. But then when you start getting bigger files that take 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then there might be more of a difference. It might be a difference of a minute or two, but it's still very, very close. And I never have liked the Vectric uh, estimated times on a CNC router. I've never used those. I always, being a Mach 3 user, I always go to Mach 3 and use that other tab where you do the simulation, because that will get you real close. Much closer than Vectric will. All right. Says I find Aspire estimates pretty close for my machine, but I've heard others not so much for them. Well, the thing about the Vectric products, you can change that scale and get it dialed in. So if you run something, say you check Vectric and it says it's going to take 14 minutes, and you run it and it takes 16 and a half. Well, you can always go back to that Vectric thing and play around with it until you get it to show 16 and a half or pretty close. And then you know what it needs to be. I just don't ever fool with it. I know when I check it with Mach 3, that's going to tell me usually within 30 seconds of being the right time. Might be might be longer, might be slower, but it's usually somewhere within that 30 seconds. And of course, that also depends on, with Mach 3, if you set your speeds conservatively and then you say, oh, it's cutting that without any problem, you can bump it up on the fly. Well, then obviously it's going to cut faster. So that's not a big thing here. We got done with that pretty quick. I really thought it might take a little bit longer. I guess I'm used to stuff going wrong. So, and I could have made that a little bigger, but I thought, well, that's big enough. I didn't even change it. I didn't even know how big. Let's see how big this thing is. Yeah, that base is about 10 inches, so that'll make a good little thing to put that on. So I guess we'll wrap this one up early. I don't have any other little project. Like I said, I would like to give a big shout out though to Steve Good and that website. In fact, let me grab that and put that in the chat. Because he's got a ton of stuff, and he, like I said, those they may be scroll saw patterns, but they make some awesome, laser programs too. So a lot of good stuff to choose from. Steve's a great guy, so just make sure you hit him up with a donation if you're over there getting a bunch of patterns, because he doesn't charge anything for his. Alan says, have I ever calibrated my mirrors? I'm not sure what you mean by calibrating. I've done the alignment on them. Not sure what you mean by that. But anyway, I don't see any other questions. I guess most of y'all that are in here now probably know, if you're a channel member, when we sign off here, if you want to come hang out in the after thing after I close this out, I'm usually out here a while turning all this stuff off and winding down. So if you want to come hang out, just alignment, yeah. Well, yeah, I did the alignment when I first set this thing up, and no, I still have not cleaned them. I got somebody left a comment. I don't know if you saw it, but on man, I'm itching like crazy. Mosquitoes love me. There could be 100 people in this garage, and they would be eating on me. I must be just the right blood type or something. They love me. But now, somebody on that last video that it was the live stream, but I repurposed that video to make a video. And during that live stream, Alan had asked me about, cleaning mirrors and stuff. And I guess they didn't like my comment when I said, well, I'll let you know when I do it. I haven't done it yet. But, and then they even went so far as to tell me that I'm wrong because I haven't cleaned them. You're supposed to, they say you're supposed to clean them. They were talking like every day and stuff like that. Well, I had to go dig out the manual. Then I quoted the manual for him that Omtech says that for mirror, the lens, the lens in the nozzle and mirror 3, you should check them daily, not clean them daily, but check them daily and clean if required. And then mirrors 2 and 1, they said you check them monthly and clean if required. So that's what it says in the manual. But I also had to remind that person that I'm not out here every day, 8, 10, 12 hours a day running production like most of the people in those Facebook groups. I'm just out here pilling. I don't even know. There might be a way. I'll probably have to look in the manual to figure out where it is. But somewhere in here, I'm sure there's a way to tell how many hours you have on your machine. And to me, that's what's much more important than how much time has passed since you last cleaned them. It's how much time has passed that you've been running. That's what matters. And that's true with tractors and everything. Tractors will have an hour meter on them, and they tell you to do your maintenance, change the oil at so many hours or something. I'm gonna get that rascal. But yeah. So I've already been scolded for or being told that I'm wrong about cleaning my mirrors. But another thing that I said in my reply to them is that you can't argue with the results I'm getting. I mean, I throw it in there, I set it up, I cut it, it cuts like butter. So, you know, if they needed cleaning, it wouldn't still cut like butter. It's still cutting the same as the first time I started cutting anything. So, Jerry says he checks his laser for water every day. That's about it. I don't even do that. I mean, I have to walk around behind here because that's where my chiller is. So when I turn it on, I stand there for just a second to look and see if I see any water leaking or something like that. But it's a closed system, so you shouldn't have any problem with that. If if you got any missing any water, it's going to be on the floor somewhere. Uh, so, but I do kind of watch the hoses and stuff like that. Sometimes, not all the time. Now, I used to do it almost every time when I first got this thing. I would open up the thing and look at the tube and then flip the water on and I would watch it. And I always try to turn my chiller on, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes before, I come out here and I'll turn it on first and then turn everything else on. And that way it gives plenty of time for whatever tiny bubbles might be in that water to work themselves out. But now I got where I don't even open that thing up and look at it, which I probably should. I got him. Got one of them anyway. I hope that was the only one. He's already been tearing me up out here. So, all right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Anybody wants to come hang out in the thing, you know the drill. Send me a Facebook message, and I will send you the link, and we will hang out and chat privately for a little bit. So, again, I want to thank all the folks that are channel members, help support the channel. Helps a little money to go to all this pure plywood I'm buying from Home Depot. This 1/4-inch stuff, I love that stuff. And also for anybody that might be new here, anything that you see me using in here, the material, the laser, anything, the lenses, all that stuff, there's links in the description for all this stuff if you're so inclined. So anyway, thank y'all guys for being channel members, and thank y'all for hanging out. And I will get Facebook open and see if anybody wants to come out. See y'all next week.